Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Tenyi deck profile. So Tenyis are actually becoming one of my favorite decks of all time really quickly with all the support that they've been getting recently. They even Synchro and Link Summon, which is two of my favorite mechanics ever, and I really think that's a really fun deck that a lot of people just don't know how to play around, so it makes it a real contender for you to play with. And it's actually a fairly budget deck. You can definitely get this deck for around $50–$60, maybe if you really want to, get some really good extra deck stuff, maybe in the $100 range if you really want to go that route. But you can get the basic core for around $50 or so. So without further ado, guys, let's get straight on this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of the new Light Tenyi monster. So basically what they all share the ability is if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, and then you get to activate a particular ability. So this one's particular ability is that you can banish it from the graveyard, special summon a Tenyi monster from your deck, except another copy of itself. Also, you cannot special summon monster for the rest of the turn, except for worm-type monsters, which is not that big of a deal because the majority of the stuff we're going to be summoning is worm-type. Then we play 3 copies of the Dark Tenyi monster, which is basically a really good card because you can open it up almost like a Cyber Dragon, because if you control no effect monsters, you don't control anything, you can just instantly special summon these cards from your hand. And it has the ability that you can banish from the graveyard and then target a face-up card your opponent controls and return it to the hand, which is really good. This card's a really good card that people have been teching in and out of all sorts of decks. I actually invested in like 4 or 5 playsets of these because I thought I was going to be playing in a lot more decks than I actually am. But it's a really good card that it would be an awesome tech card in the majority of your decks. But you have to control the non-face-up effect monster, which is not that big of a deal because the Link monsters count as non-face-up effect monsters, or face-up normal monsters. Then we play 3 copies of the Water Tenyi monster, which if a face-up effect monster you control is destroyed by battle, or by card effect you can banish it from the graveyard, then target one of those destroyed monsters and instantly special summon it back. And then you can destroy a monster your opponent controls. So it's kind of like a retaliation card. If your opponent destroys one of your Link monsters by battle, that's your normal monsters, you can banish this from your grave and then instantly special summon that Link monster back, which is really powerful. 3 copies of the Earth Tenyi monster, which is a really cool monster. It's a tuner monster as well, that if you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can banish this card from your grave, and then target one of your banished worm monsters and add it back to your hand. So it lets you recycle your worm monsters back to your hand, which it can be really powerful as well. And with it being a tuner monster, we can go into our new Synchro monster that we just got. Then I only play 1 each of the Wind Tenyi monster and the Fire Tenyi monster, but the Wind one basically is kind of like a battle trap. You can banish from your graveyard, then target an opponent's monster and it loses 1500 attack until the end of the battle phase when your non-effect monster is battling an opponent's monster. Then you also play 1 copy of the Fire one, which has the ability that you control. You can banish it from your graveyard and then negate the activation if you do destroy it if a face-up non-effect monster is targeted on your side of the field. So they're really good in their own rights, but they're just good 1-ofs, maybe 2-ofs. I play 3 copies of Mystery Shell Dragon, which can be changed out for any of the 2000 attack point monsters that you want to play. You can also, another really good one that you can play in this position is Gene Warped Warwolf. Then you can use the Earth Tenyi monster and this to go into Naturia Beast if you want to. So this is pretty much just a placeholder for any of the 2000 zero defense normal monsters that they had a series of, that I think they made like every single one of the archetypes had one of these that was 2000 and 0 attack and defense. So really good card, really good position that you need. Basically this is just good for Link summoning because you don't normal summon any of these. So you just normal summon this and it's like your 1 normal summon in the entire deck. 2 copies of Mermare. Mermare is really good for Yazi plays to be able to special summon it to your side of the field. It cannot be special summoned except by the effect of worm monsters, and during your standby phase, you can reduce this card's level by 1, and if you do, special summon a Mermare token, or a mini Mermare token, but you can only do that thrice per turn. So you can reduce its level down to 4, and then special summon 3 tokens if you want to. 2 copies of Destrudo. Destrudo is another card that's just really good in here because you can reduce the level of a monster on your side of the field, or reduce its level by whatever the level of the monster on the field you're targeting is, pay half your life, and then special summon it, which is another really good option to be able to have in this deck, to be able to go into Yazi, because Yazi's a really good card in the deck that special summons Mare. One copy of Glow Bulb. Glow Bulb is a really good card in the deck too because it's a tuner monster to go into our Synchro monster, and it's generic as well to be able to go into stuff and use as link material. And then I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom as well. The 3 Ash Blossoms are really, really good in the deck because you just stop your opponent. With all these other cards, this is just extra negation. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Or not the main deck. That's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells. And we do actually play spells and traps in this deck, which is kind of rare nowadays. So we play 3 copies of Called by the Grave, because Called by the Grave is a really good card in the deck to be able to just drop on the field and, you know, negate a hand trap. We play a single copy of 1-for-1 because you can special summon Glow Bulb or the Earth Tenyi monster as well. It's really good to be able to do that. A single copy of Terraforming as well to search the field spell. Foolish Burial because we can send our Tenyi monsters to the graveyard that we need in the graveyard to trigger their abilities. 3 copies of Vessel of the Dragon Cycle. This card is really interesting because it lets you send a worm monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can add from your deck to your hand one Tenyi monster with a different name from the one that was sent to the graveyard. It kind of reminds me of Dragon Shrine in a way, but kind of like for Tenyis. 2 copies of Flawless Perfection of the Tenyi, and I'm really finding this deck to be pretty perfect. I love this deck all around. All non-effect monsters on the field are unaffected by the effects of effect monsters, and then once per turn, if your opponent special summons an effect monster while you control a face-up or while you control a face-down monster or non-effect monster, you can draw 2 cards. This card is broken. This card's like Pot of Greed. It's really good. And it's searchable as well, and I highly recommend you play this at least at 2. It's searchable with Terraforming, and so that's why I only play it as a 1-of. I played 2 copies of Waterfall of the... that's it for the spells, guys. I was moving into the traps. So moving into the traps, we're actually playing 2 copies of Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi. Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi is a really, really, really good... 3 copies of it, excuse me. 3 copies of Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi. Basically, this is kind of like Infernity Barrier. If you control when your opponent activates a spell or trap or monster effect, while you control a normal monster, you can negate the activation if you do destroy it. And it also has the ability that you can instantly, if it's sent to the graveyard, you can, or if it's destroyed by your opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a non-effect monster from your extra deck. Hint, hint. You can instantly special summon Blue Eyes Ultimate from your extra deck off of this card, which is really crazy to me that you can just instantly drop a Blue Eyes Ultimate on your side of the field for free, and your opponent's just like, wait a minute, what just happened? You just dropped Blue Eyes Ultimate. How did that happen? So this card's really, really, really good to be able to negate stuff, and it punishes your opponent for using stuff like Twin Twisters against you as well. And then we play 2 copies of Waterfall of the Dragon Soul, which you guys kind of already saw. But Waterfall of the Dragon Soul basically lets you either add a worm type monster from your deck to your hand, or send any number of worm monsters from your hand and or face up from your field to the grave to draw cards equal to the number of the ones that you sent plus 1. So you can trigger your Tenyi monsters by sending them to the graveyard with this to be able to dig into your deck a little bit deeper. So this card's a really good 2-of in the deck. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 1 copy of the new Draco Masters of the Tenyi. This card is really, really, really good. I cannot emphasize that enough. Basically, it has the ability that you have to have 2 monsters, including a Link monster, which is not that big of a deal because we Link climb a lot in this deck. But it also has the ability that it cannot be destroyed by battle with the effect or with effect monsters. So your opponent has to hit this with a non-effect monster. Which, if you guys remember First of the Dragons, this card can be really devastating. And it has 3 link arrows that are pointing down. If you control other effect monsters, you can destroy effect monsters your opponent controls up to the number of non-effect monsters you control and or in your graveyard. So that's why I play the extra copies of Mystery Shell Dragon, is because if you have the non-effect monsters in your graveyard, then you can just destroy your opponent's entire field and just go wham, 26. And then if you have your other Tenyi monsters on the field, this card can be really devastating. 1 copy of Berserker of the Tenyi. Berserker of the Tenyi is just a good 1-of now because you play the Draco Masters Masters and you want to go for Draco Masters more. And so I played just the one of the Berserker. 3 copies of Shaman. Shaman is still busted, and so she is a definite 3 of. You discard a card to target a worm monster in your graveyard and special summon it, and also for the rest of the turn, you cannot activate cards or effects with the special summon monster from your extra deck, except Tenyi monsters, and when an attack is declared involving your face-up non-effect monster, you can target one monster your opponent controls, or one card your opponent controls, and destroy it. So it just instantly destroys something for free. And that's why you also play the Mystery Shell Dragons, is because you can attack and then destroy something, which is good. 3 copies of Monk. Basically, Monk is just the starter, so you play the 3 copies of Monk. 1 copy of Link Spider. Link Spider lets us special summon our Mystery Shell Dragon from our hand, but you have to use a normal monster to Link summon it. So if you open up like 2 Mystery Shell Dragons, you can normal summon 1, link it away for Link Spider, and then special summon the second one, and then go for something else that you want to. Then we play a single copy of Linkuriboh. Linkuriboh is really good because you can use it with the Mare tokens, or Glow Bulb, or the Earth Tenyi monster to go into. Borrelsword Dragon because you can make it and OTK your opponent. I don't go into it that much, but it's an option. 2 copies of Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. Draco Berserker of the Tenyi is like by far one of my favorite cards in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish it. You just instantly banish it if they activate a monster effect. This card is really, really, really devastating, and it's generic. And if this card destroys an effect monster of battle and sends it to the graveyard, this card gains attack equal to destroy monster's original attack, and also can make a second attack during each battle phase, or during that battle phase. It doesn't lose the attack after a battle. So if you kill something that has 3,000 attack or 2,900 attack, it goes all the way up to 59 and it stays at 59, which is crazy. A single copy of Yazi. Yazi is basically here because if it basically has the ability that when you control this card, it's destroyed and sent to graveyard. You can special summon a worm monster from your deck in defense position, which is going to be Mare. And you can basically scrap Dragon by targeting this and a card your opponent controls and destroying them, and then special summon the Mare and then go Mare combo. And then 1 copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon because you can special summon it off of the copy of Unrivaling Fists of the Unrivaling Tenyi. Basically, you just special summon this when it's destroyed. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely give this deck a try. I highly emphasize that over a lot of the decks that I've been building. Like, this is one of my favorites. Like, I love all the decks that I build, but this one's really capturing my heart. It's a lot of fun to play around with, and it's so beautiful of a deck with like the ghostly dragon, Chinese dragons. Like, it's just beautiful. You have to try this deck. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.